Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to Crendor Talks in front of a shitty green screen. Today, I'm going to be talking about Classic WoW, specifically Classic WoW Plus. So it's been like 3 years since Classic WoW came out, which is crazy, because I was just looking at my videos, and I saw me playing the Classic WoW beta in May of 2019. And I was like, that was 3 years ago. Crazy. I mean, I was just thinking about my video I made, Classic WoW. I had nostalgia for Classic WoW, which was weird because it was like, I have nostalgia for the launch of a game that was launched because of nostalgia. It's all over the place. Anyway, Classic WoW Plus. So, how would you go about changing the game to kind of reinvent it while maintaining what it is at its core, right? And I'm sure you're gonna get plenty of people be like, I'm never playing that Classic Plus. I hated Classic WoW. That's great. This probably isn't a video for you then. Because I thoroughly enjoyed playing Classic WoW. Like, I really did enjoy it. I wasn't like I'm playing it for the nostalgia. At first I was like, I'm gonna play it for nostalgia. And then I like actually enjoyed playing it. Like, I really did. And I raided and I did a bunch of stuff, and then I kind of, I played more than I thought I was gonna, honestly. So I was curious to like, what would I want to see happen in order for me to come back to the game and have it feel a little more fresh. So I was looking at a bunch of posts. I found one on the Classic WoW Reddit from 8 months ago, just as like some, I don't know, a little bit of like a, to get the fire started, so to speak, right? So this person that made the post was like Novo C, and they said they'd want to add to existing zones with more quests and areas, new profession recipes, class quests and epics, new dungeon and raid content, and themed content updates. And then in the comments, there's people saying stopping boosts and bots. And someone else said class balancing talent updates, world buffs, removed upon entry to raid instance, harder raid bosses, bigger debuff limit, cheaper respec, and actually ban bots. So here's the thing, is like, I'm trying to think like, how far would you want them to go? Because I'm sure there's some people like, somebody just like, oh, well, a Classic Plus, I just want them to ban the bots and stop the boost. Well, like, they can do that in current Classic WoW. Like, we don't need a Classic Plus for them to put together a team that can just ban bots and do that. Like, I feel like that's just, I feel like when they say Classic Plus, they mean they're going to add on content that wasn't previously in Classic WoW, or they're going to change things, right? So from this initial post, I like the idea of adding to existing zones with more quests and areas. I do think that's cool, especially because in Classic WoW, you tend to run out of quests, right? You hit a certain level, especially if you haven't been doing quests or constantly grinding, and you hit a point of like, oh, I guess I just go grind owl beasts in Winter Spring, right? You hit that point, you're like, okay. So it would be nice to kind of expand upon that with zones and quests. Maybe you open up areas like Hyjal, right? Maybe some of these places that you never got to finish in vanilla WoW, you can now go back to and be like, oh, you know what? This is probably what it would have been. This is what it would have been like to have this area, and you can make it a specific level zone. Maybe, I think I saw someone mention complete the Azshara Battleground, complete Timbermaw Hold, Uldum, and Hyjal dungeons. So, I mean, yeah, you can go back and do all these things. The Azshara Battleground would be fantastic to have. I think that'd be great. So I would say that would be the first thing, would be go complete all these old things we've heard about that we never got to experience. I think that would be fantastic. That would be being able to kind of, I think it would just add another layer to everything, right? Because everyone's always wondering like, oh, I wonder what these things would be like. And now you would actually get to experience. Now, whether it's going to be good or not, it's probably going to be a big issue, but I mean, I think it's worth a shot, right? I think it's legit worth trying and seeing how it turns out. And it would, it would bring people back, I think. Like, even people that don't didn't really enjoy Classic WoW. Not the people who like hate Classic WoW, but like the people that are like, hey, you know what, it was fun, I played it a bit. But then you would see like actual new content coming to it and be like, hey, you know what, maybe I'll try all this new stuff. That could be fun. So I would agree with that. As for professions, I mean, new profession recipes, yeah, it'd probably be cool. I mean, if you're gonna make new raids and new dungeons, I would say you definitely need to have new profession recipes. I think it would be fine. I'm fine with that. And, you know, speaking of which, you would probably add new dungeon and raid content if you created these new zones. Like, obviously, like the Karazhan Crypts was one of them, right? There's unfinished stuff there. You can add in, you know, I mean, you can really, there's so many places you could probably go add in a raid or a dungeon. Like, you don't even have to use the old stuff. You could be like, what if the Stranglethorn mining company like just had a dungeon or raid? Well, I guess no, that's Westfall. I'm thinking of Dead Mines, but like, you know, you could have something like that. You know, you can just pick a random ass zone, Arathi Highlands, right? What if Arathi Highlands had a raid? I don't know. They have that big castle thing there and the pirate ship. You could do something with that. Like, there's so many different angles they could probably go with, and I feel like they'd be fine. So you would obviously tie professions and stuff like that into that. They have class quests and epics. I would agree with that. I think class quests are actually one of the more fun things to do in Classic WoW. Obviously, they're a bit grindy and a little intense, but I feel like, you know, it's unique, it's fun, it's part of what makes Classic WoW is having those things that you're like, I want to make a warlock because I can do that mount quest, right? I can get my epic warlock mount. It'd be fantastic. Can't wait to do it, right? And that's what warlocks do. Nobody else can do it. So I would like having more of those. That'd be fun. And then they have they mentioned themed content updates. So every big update, there could be smaller, more focused content injections centered around community voted for theme. For instance, Booty Bay and Bloodsail quest pack that expands the story of the two factions, or the water update that can include a fishing faction, few quests, some underwater quests, several zones, etc. I mean, yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, yeah, you could do a little, almost like patch tier content, you know. I guess I think that's cool, right? You could focus on little sub factions like I guess they said the Bloodsail Buccaneers, but I mean, you could go to the Furbolgs and stuff, right? You learn more I can't talk. Learn more about the Furbolgs. You could go to my mind's just blanking, like going through all the zones. Tauren. I mean, there's like a bunch of stuff you can do with the Tauren. Go to Mulgore. You know, do some listen, I crave Mulgore Tauren content. I just want like even in retail WoW, I would take just anything Tauren, please. Please. You know, I mean, you can listen, there's so many things you could do. There's so many zones, especially in Classic WoW, that you could do little mini stories and stuff with. I think it'd be fine. So I mean, and then on top of that, you have, you know, the standard stuff like world buffs removed, cheaper respecs, you know, more of like the tinkering with the way the game is coded type things, which I would get. You know, class balancing obviously would be a big one. Talent updates I do think would be cool, just changing some talents that nobody really uses, and maybe tweaking some of the other ones. Like, I think that'd be fine, and seeing how it works itself out. Because obviously, you know, class balance is probably one of the biggest aspects to really just any game, let alone Classic WoW. But I'm curious because I think Classic Plus is a thing that will happen. Like, I genuinely believe it's gonna happen, and I would like to have things like expansions come out for it. I think that'd be cool. But I don't know if I'm in the minority on that, or, you know, obviously there's going to be people that are like, do not do any of that. Just, you know, get rid of the bots. Why is Ironforge so loud? So let me know down in the comments section below what you would do, what you think you should do for Classic Plus. How many things would you change? Would you know, add stuff, get rid of stuff, balance stuff? Like, what would you do? Or are you opposed to it? Like, do you not even want it to happen? So let me know in the comments section what you think. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.